All right, everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We are here with the lovely Nikki Boutte back again on the channel, revisiting. Thank you so much for joining us, for continuing to share your wisdom with everyone that's willing to listen.
Yes.
Today, we actually have a special video for you. So we are obviously 6 months into 2021. And today we actually wanted to go back and reflect a little bit on the year that was 2020. I know a lot of us are over it, but it's always important to reflect and just see what we've learned from it. And we wanted to share sort of how we stayed creative as a photographer, videographer, as just creatives period, through the year, and just how we got through it, how we made some income, you know, what kind of projects we were on, that we were blessed, fortunate, privileged enough to have work to do during a global pandemic. So today we just wanted to share some of the knowledge that we came out of it with, and hopefully you can take something away from it. But without further ado, what we're gonna do for this setup today is we're actually gonna go month by month through the year of 2020 and just kind of share all the different projects that we were on and just how those progressed and how those turned out. So we're gonna start with the year 2020, and without further ado, Nikki, take it away. Tell us about what you had going on in January 2020. And this is before we even met.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is literally a month before
Right.
we met. January 25th, I got to shoot at Games concert. It was Grammy weekend, so that was at the Novo, downtown LA. Dope energy, it was live. You know, again, this is before the pandemic, so everything was normal then. I got to go backstage and see Game and his brother and everybody that was, you know, backstage, his family and everybody.
Had you worked with him beforehand?
At the Drew League.
Okay.
Like,
So
I didn't
that's
work with him personally, but
That's
that's
how
how I became cool with him, you know, shooting him at the Drew League.
Got you.
So yeah, so when I got to shoot at the Novo at his concert, again, I love concerts, so that was just, you know, dope energy. The crowd was lit. And of course, you know, a lot of people have respect for Game and love his music. So that was just a really dope night. And just to, you know, shoot him. I never take it for granted, you know, when I get to shoot artists on stage and, you know, when they perform their music. And of course, the next day, January 26th, a day we'll never forget.
Right.
Kobe.
Yeah.
His daughter, and all the people that was on the, you know, private jet, you know, or the private, you know, helicopter. It was just tragic. Like, to go from that, you know, the night before, and then to wake up to that, it's just like huge transition. It's just like, whoa, you know, like it just hit so hard. Cause also that Sunday morning, you know, it's Grammy Day. So we, you know I was focused on Nipsey, you know, him about to get his award and just, you know, enjoy the Grammys. But to get that type of news, you're just like, my heart just dropped. Like, it was just like a day I'll never forget, you know, hearing that type of news. So long story short, I go downtown, all the fans, and it's just a mixture of, you know, like people in their Grammy outfits, and then you see Kobe jerseys everywhere. So it's just like, it was just very sad. And it was just so gloomy too. So it's like the weather even fit for that day. It was so gloomy that day, and just Kobe fans everywhere, just coming together downtown LA Live. You see the picture of him and his daughter. It's just like, it just felt like a living nightmare. Right. It just didn't feel real, and I'll just never forget, but I knew as a photographer, like I had to go down there. And it's just like, I did cry at that moment when I found out, but then I got myself together and I just, you know, I knew those were moments that had to be captured. Go downtown, you know, take pictures and do videos of fans, you know, and all the flowers. It was just so much. It was a lot going on, but I just remember just standing there, just like in disbelief, and just like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it's a feeling you just can't really explain. Obviously, you're like sad, you're numb, and I felt all those different emotions, but as a photographer, I just still kept shooting, you know, no matter how much pain I was in. It's like I just kept, you know, shooting and capturing moments of fans, you know, kneeling down, crying, or fans that were talking about Kobe, saying thank you, or the Kobe chants. Like, it was just so much going on in just that one day, on the day that, you know, he passed that Sunday morning. So felt this overwhelming feeling of just like, wow, like, I can't even believe this type of feeling. But again, when I went back to shooting throughout the whole week, you know, getting fans coming down there, paying their respects, and people coming from all over, you know. I know as soon as they found out, I know it's people coming from out of state, who knows, you know, but obviously there's a lot of LA fans too. It was a few guys who had a basketball court, and one of my videos went viral. It was a little Hispanic kid and his dad, like, He made like 2 or 3 in a row and like went crazy. And my video ended up making it Sports Center, ESPN. So it was like, that was a very emotional moment for me too, because as soon as I posted it, I got so emotional, I was crying. You know, people was like, oh my God, this video is so touching. And again, as a photographer, again, videographer, that's what makes my purpose, you know, so special. You know, it's deeper than just photos and videos. You know, we really love what we do. So that was a moment, again, that I'll never forget. It saddens me. It does make me emotional, like looking at all the photos and videos, still in disbelief. But, you know, I don't regret it because that's what we do. You know, we capture moments no matter how bad or how good it is. Like, I feel like that's our purpose.
100%. And at the same time, you're also like documenting history. Like, this is literally history, you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it's like people 30, 40 years from now, whatever, 100 years from now, when they look back at that, like your photos will be there to like commemorate that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I commend you for that, because not to get deep on everyone for the moment, but I've been someone who has experienced a lot of death just in my family and just like growing up at a really young age. And my coping mechanism, because I was a massive Kobe fan too. Like, I was born and raised in LA, as were you. And he was literally my hero, like huge Laker fan. But for me, like my coping mechanism when it comes to death is just like, I need to just like be by myself and just like process it, you know what I mean? And as much as I really wanted to go to downtown, I was like, man, I cannot be around that many people. It's just like a lot for me, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I'm glad someone like you like had the courage. And,
I think
like,
I'm opposite. Like, I need to be around. Like, I have moments where I need to be by myself too, but then I kind of need to just be around other people, be there for them. Like, that's just how my heart is, you know? So it's like, we were all hurting. So it's like, I need to just, you know, be there with other Kobe fans and, you know, just like, man, and have those moments where we're talking about Kobe, you know, just to kind of heal a little bit in that moment, even though we're going to be hurting when we separate again. But it's just like, I knew, like, my heart, I knew I had to be down there.
I feel that, but for anyone out there who's watching, you know, however you process things, good or bad, like, don't feel bad for it, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Clearly there's 2 people here and we process things very differently already. So whatever works for you, like, you know, feel free to do that. But at the same time, like, I think this was a testament just to like as a photographer, like being in those moments and putting yourself out there. Like, no one was paying you to go down there, you know. You wanted to do it. You wanted to do it because you wanted to be there and you felt a strong calling for it. And same goes for anyone watching. Like, you know, if you feel like there's a moment in your town or your city, whatever that is like happening, you feel real strong passion to go down there. Like, I think it's super important, just because you never know who's going to see it. You're capturing history at the minimum, and you're doing it from like the good of your soul, I feel like. So that really translates well.
For sure.
During
now on to you for
January.
Man,
how do we go from that to me? From Kobe to like, how are we supposed to do that?
We got a lot of good stuff.
We have a lot of good stuff. So January for me was slightly different from you. So Nikki, before I met you, I was actually primarily shooting a lot of fashion industry stuff. So when I met you is when I was doing like the Sierra Canyon stuff, just because like with my portfolio was just heavy into the fashion industry, and like, I have always, like I mentioned, I'm just a huge sports fan and just like basketball fan, football fan, everything. And I wanted to start moving my portfolio over to like developing just more sports content, just because I wanted to get hired to work with sports companies. So one of the first things for me in January of 2020 was, the Sierra Canyon boys basketball team, for anyone who doesn't know, for whatever reason, the Sierra Canyon boys basketball team is like Hollywood's high school basketball team. Literally, LeBron's son was on there, or is on there. Brandon Boston, Dwayne Wade's son, just a bunch of Zaire Williams, the top-rated high school students. So in January, they actually played at Pasadena City College, which is literally 5 minutes from my house in Pasadena. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna make the most of this. I went to Sammy's. I rented a 70 to 200 millimeter lens, bought my little like $8 ticket, whatever it was, admission fee, and I just like went in there and just started taking a bunch of photos. And it was so much fun. Like, I was able to roam around the gym and just like, I went up into the stands, try to get different angles, got some video stuff. And then for me, it's always like turning that content around immediately. So I would get home, as soon as I got home, I think the game ended at like 9 or 10 or something like that. And then like by 11:30 or midnight, I had uploaded all these videos and photos to my Instagram story, and like people I never knew about like saw it, or like some of the kids started seeing it too. So that was really cool. So for me, I started shooting just some of the Sierra Canyon basketball games in January, and that was really fun. And it ultimately led to me meeting you. Right. Not until March, I think, or like February-ish, something like that. Yeah. But we'll get there. Yeah. Anyway, so that was one half of January, and then the other half, one of the bigger events that I actually was able to shoot in January was New York Fashion Week. So Fashion Week, for anyone that doesn't know, Happens twice a year for Women's Week, which is all month of February, all month of September. It starts in New York, then it goes to London, then Milan and Paris. And I've actually been shooting Fashion Week since I started shooting, basically like in end of 2017, beginning of 2018. I started shooting New York Fashion Week. So I actually got hired for this brand called M. Missoni. It was a part of New York Fashion Week presentation, but they actually held it here in Los Angeles, out in Pink's Hot Dogs, which is really cool. So I got to shoot, just like capture all the highlights for that event, just like people within the fashion industry. A couple of TikTok kids were there. So it was interesting, it was different. I usually never get hired to do photography at fashion shows. I always do like video recaps. This time around, my contact was like, hey, can you come and take some photos? I'm like, I don't know, I was a little nervous because I don't really take photos like that usually. But they ended up turning out really well. Like the official New York Fashion Week account reposted on their accounts and stuff on Instagram. So that was really cool. And the photos turned out really well. So it kind of just gave me some added
Saul was a dope
confidence.
photographer too, y'all.
I try.
Like video is his thing, but he's a dope photographer.
I appreciate that, Nikki. I'm just trying, you know.
No,
so
it's
that was like my effort into that, and they turned out really well. So I was like excited, and they like looked like actual fashion photos, and I was like, oh, this isn't bad. But that was a really cool event. Like I said, it started like we did all the hair and makeup and wardrobe was done at Milk Studios, which is like a really popular studio here in Los Angeles. The actual event show, we went from Milk Studios in a double-decker bus that was like all decked out in the branding. They threw all the models on there, and then we just like took this double-decker bus to Pink's Hot Dogs, and then got there, shot the show, ate some food, and then they had an after party at this like mansion in Pacific Palisades. So I was also shooting that too. So yeah, that's how my January started. It's pretty casual, you know.
And your birthday.
And my birthday is in
You got to enjoy
January
your birthday
as well.
before the pandemic.
What did I do? Oh, I don't even want to talk about that.
It's all good. The fact that you got to have a birthday before the pandemic.
Got to have a birthday. Spent it with all my friends. Don't remember any of it, but that's a different story. So, moving on to February. Nikki, let us know what you had in February.
Okay, February. DeMar came down with San Antonio Spurs to play Clippers and Lakers. So again, like LA's still heavy, you know. It was like maybe like 2-3 weeks after Kobe passed, so it was like very, very heavy. DeMar had on a Kobe jersey. Of course, you know, I know that was someone he looked up to, and I was like, you know, a teacher. You know, it's like a teacher and a student. But I know he was also good friends with Kobe, so I know that cut him deep. After the game, I still had my camera on me, and I took pictures of him in his jersey and with his daughters. And again, like, with Kobe being a girl dad, you know, it's like DeMar's a girl dad too. So I had to, you know, capture that moment with him and his daughters. That was a special photo, you know, him wearing Kobe's jersey and his daughters on each of his side. That was a cool moment, you know, to see. It was like back-to-back days. So I got to see DeMar, you know, play, and he got to wear, you know, different Kobe jerseys. And then moving on, also DeMar's USC retirement. He got to get his jersey retired, and the college he attended, which is USC, you know, an honor to be there and to see that, you know, for him and capture moments for that. That was very special, of course. Whatever I'm capturing, like I really cherish those moments. So that was, again, a special moment for DeMar. And then moving on to high school, to Josh's senior night. So I've known Josh and his brother Caleb, you know, throughout the whole year. They attended Mayfair. So again, Josh's senior night was special. YG, Brandon Jennings, Nick Young, they all came out and showed love. Yeah.
Super casual.
So, right, no. I know Josh, you know, he's a little superstar. Him and Caleb, they're little superstars.
Yeah.
But it was all about, you know, Josh that night, you know, for his senior night. He was honored with the McDonald All-American, you know, jersey, but unfortunately didn't get to play. But again, at least I was there to capture, you know, him with his jersey and his family there. And I think also Caleb, he was at Arizona, so he came down and surprised him. So I caught a moment where, you know, they hugged each other. And again, moments like that are special to me. Yeah. You know, when I capture laughter, like, you know, excitement and happiness. So that was a special moment because Caleb came down and surprised him for his senior night. And again, having his family and friends there. So again, the atmosphere was really dope, and they won that night too. So it was just it was a good night. For anyone that might have just stumbled on this video and you haven't seen the full sit-down conversation with Nikki, go watch that. I'm gonna link it like right here on the corner. But before we move on, just for anyone that may have just be discovering you and this, like,
With DeMar, tell us a little bit about that relationship and just how it kind of came about and like how you started working. Because I'm sure there's people out there who like would love to work with NBA players, you know. So for you, like how did that relationship come about, and how have you guys like sort of progressed as like a subject and a photographer?
Us seeing around each other at the Drew League, and then just us knowing mutual people, friends. The year that he got traded in 2018, yeah, that was when I started working with him personally. So we became like more cool. Like once I pretty much followed him and his process, getting traded from Toronto to San Antonio. So ever since then, you know, we've been locked in and working. We're both from LA. He's from Compton to be exact, and I'm from Carson. So it's just like we, you know, relate, you know, just us being from here and just similar things that we like.
As far as like you capturing him and his style and what he likes, does he have like a lot of direction for you or like notes or anything? Or is it literally like, Nikki, do your thing. I trust you. Like, I don't even care.
DeMar, it's so funny that you said it, because DeMar, he does it. I mean, I know like DeMar, like he'll want to start with it. He'll be like, do your thing. Like he always says that. He's like, do your thing. Like do your thing. Like he'll always say that. I just laugh. Like, that's why I'm laughing right now, because he'll let me just do my thing.
Yeah.
I still want to make sure like, you know, anybody I work with likes what I do, or like if they have a particular way. It's like a mixture of both. It's kind of funny. That's why I laugh, because it's like I know he'll just like, yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
So
it's funny.
Yeah.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
Epic.
Yeah.
Great February then.
Yep. And what about you?
What about me? I was on the other side of the world. I went to Europe for Fashion Week.
Nice.
So hey, I'm ready for it to come back. I'm like, I miss
Right.
Fashion Week so much. Like all my fashion friends who like live in New York or like Paris or Milan, whatever, Russia, like hope to see you all soon. I actually decided to skip out on New York and Milan that February because I was like, I'll just go in September. Little did we know that there wasn't going to be anything.
Right.
But I decided to go to Paris just because Paris is usually longer, it's a little bit more extravagant, and I just prefer it. I love the city of Paris. So went over to Paris for Fashion Week. I work with different influencers or different brands, so that's really exciting. And then this time around I was actually shooting with this Japanese influencer, so I was like capturing like him getting ready, going to the shows and stuff like that, but at the same time, there's this genre of photography called street style photography that happens a lot during Fashion Week, where basically photographers from all around the world, they go to like just outside of the shows and all the celebrities come up, but they'll stop and pose because they want their photos taken because there's different publications there. So during my free time, I also decided to just like go to these fashion shows and just like stand outside and like photograph all the different people showing up and just kind of like tagging them on Instagram based on that. I've been able to like create a lot of good relationships through that. But I was able to shoot like Virgil, he had a book signing during Fashion Week, so I got to shoot Virgil Abloh and like Bella Hadid and like all these different models, and it was a really cool experience. Like it's 10 days usually, so it's just like a lot of you go to shows, you go to after parties, you get drunk, you edit, you repeat, and it was a lot of fun. Exactly, you get drunk, low key. I was in Paris basically all the end of February into March, we'll talk about next. But tell me first about what you did in March.
I'll start off with maybe the Sierra Canyon game. Sierra Canyon versus Etowanda at Northridge.
Yeah.
So we were both there, but we didn't officially meet yet.
Right, yeah.
I know we met through Instagram because I saw your video and I was like, okay, this is dope. And that's how we became cool. Sierra Canyon versus Etowanda, crazy game. Just to get to the point, Zaire Williams, my guy Zaire, like he hit that game-winning shot from the free throw line or the elbow area. And of course, it's just like, I thought of Kobe right at that moment. It's like, to hit a game winner like that, it's like, that was just a Mamba shot. Like, it was incredible. And the fact that I captured it and had to control my emotions at the same time is again, that's the moment as a photographer or videographer, like, you could be excited, but you got to remember, like, you want to capture it too, so you can look back on it. So that was a moment where I was just like yelling, but I was like, oh my God, but I was just like focused at the same time. Shout out to my guy Zaire for hitting that shot and winning the game. It was such a good game, and you know, it was a lot of people there. So it was just dope atmosphere, lit, the crowd was lit, everybody was excited. So I was happy to be there, enjoy the game and capture that moment. And then I'll move on to Mikey's game. This is when Mikey was playing for San Diego, and they were playing against Palisades, and it was at Palisades. That game, first of all, it was a sauna in there. It was so hot. It was ridiculously hot. LeBron and YG came to watch him play, and then again the crowd. It was just it was crazy in there. Everybody was in there. Cassie was in there too, you know, taking pictures, and there was other photographers there. It was the one where I got LeBron talking to Mikey on the sideline, and then YG being there, you know, him and YG and LeBron hugging each other, greeting each other. And again, just that whole atmosphere. It's just like, I've been in so many crazy game atmospheres, but that one, it was just so hot. It was just like, it was a lot going on. But again, when you're in a hot atmosphere like that, again, you just do your thing and just capture what you can, and try to enjoy the moment or whatever game is going on. Just try to enjoy it. But that was definitely an experience. And lastly, my Nipsey 1 year video. So it was a year, March 31st last year, 2020, since Nip passed. And I put together all my videos from the year that he passed in 2019. I went down to the store, captured, you know, fans mourning and leaving, you know, flowers, bandanas, candles, or writing on the walls. Like, again, just being there as a photographer. I was, you know, hurt again, but I did my part, you know, just going down there, capturing the moments of fans coming together. That video was special because I got to put the clips together from what I captured the moment that he passed, that whole week. Just at his store, and just, you know, all the fans coming together. So I basically put those clips together, got a lot of love on it. But again, I just want fans to always be touched. People in general, not just fans, but people in general be touched by what I put together.
Facts. And we also did a 2 year, or you put the 2 year video together this past March, where I did some drone footage for you. So that turned out really nice.
Yeah, even though we're talking about 2020, like, again, second year, it's been 2 years now since Nip's gone. Yeah.
Nikki is the most consistent person. She knows every anniversary, everything, and she's always putting stuff up.
I just try to keep the legacy, you know, alive, and I just love it. But yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna link that 2 year anniversary one below, and then as we're talking about this, the 1 year anniversary will play over everything, so you'll be able to see that. But
perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm just always impressed, Nikki, by everything you're doing. And again, likewise.
Same to him. He's the one that did the drone footage. When we link up, it's a movie.
Hey, try to. Yeah, but again, testament, just like, remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, like, do things because you want to, and like it will pay off. Like, people will see it, and it will lead to just more opportunity. Sounds like a good February or March.
March.
Good March.
Now it's up to your March.
So for my March, beginning of March, I was still in Paris, luckily. So Paris Fashion Week ended like March 2nd or March 3rd, something like that. And I was actually a mutual friend of mine. She is a manager for this French Olympic fencer. Her name is Isora Thibis, and shout out to Jonna. Jonna's actually my friend who connected me to her. But Isora, she was getting ready for the Olympics because at the time they thought it was still gonna happen. So she was a newer client, I believe. So she was like, oh, like, since you're in Paris, like, do you want to come and do some videos of her training, some photos as well? I was like, yeah, of course. Like, this is a French Olympic. She's literally going to the Olympics in fencing. Like, that's so random. Like, it's like, who even?
Right.
Like, that just awesome. It was just really cool for me. So I got to go over to like the French national team like training facility, which is like 20 minutes outside of Paris, and it's literally this compound. Like, they have soccer fields and like track and field and like all this stuff, and like dorms, and like these athletes literally just like live here. And I was like, damn, this is like a whole nother level. And the facility was really dope. Like, I had never been into like a fencing facility, obviously. Like, I don't even, who fences in America? I don't even know. What's funny though is her boyfriend is also an Olympic, or he's a fencer on the Olympic team for the US. So
wow,
that was super random too.
That's awesome.
So I got to shoot with her for a day, and that was really cool. Like, she was the nicest person, like super strong. Like, I was just like blown away, and I just like got to capture it and like did a little Instagram thing for her. So that was super dope. I was really excited about that. Cool. And she's gonna be in the Olympics this summer in Tokyo. So she's still like part of the French Olympic team and everything. So that'll be exciting to see her. Cool. So wrapped that up, and then came back over to America, and then just started shooting some more Sierra Canyon stuff. Like, I just wanted to keep developing that portfolio. I went to like a couple of their playoff games, because they played Etiwanda at Calabasas High School. I don't know if you were at that one. But that one was like, that was probably like two or three games before the buzzer beater win.
Okay, yeah.
And that game was really intense too. Like, there was like like some of the parents got into a fight, and they literally had to stop the game for like 10 minutes to like break it up. So it was like all of that, and then once we got to that final like playoff game or whatever, it just like the intensity was like even more so. So yeah, I think I went to like 2 of the playoff games and stuff. So I was just like doing again recaps for that, And then we had that final Southern Section playoff game against Etiwanda, and that was just crazy. Again, like, I feel you on that. I was like, because I was doing video. I filmed like that actual shot of the buzzer beater and everything, and I was like, yo, like, what just happened? Like, I like, it's so weird, like, being in a moment like that, but it's like, you have to try to focus so hard, and it's like, oh man, I'm like freaking out.
Exactly.
And it kind of sucks because in a way it takes you out of the moment. It's like you can't really just enjoy it for what it is. It's like you have to.
But you can enjoy it later when
exactly.
you watch it.
Yeah.
You're still enjoying it. It's just you're capturing it, but it's even better because like now you got to capture it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like, keep watching it.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is crazy, and it was just like so much fun. And like I put like a whole little recap video together or whatever. And I think that after that one is when we like. Connected on Instagram. I don't think we had connected yet at that point.
Yeah, we connected after that one, the buzzer beater game.
That's the one that you saw, because that one went crazy. Like, I don't even get views on my Instagram like that, and that one like went crazy.
I think I saw your video on Explore page. I don't even know how I got to your video.
Hey, however it happened, it was meant to be, so I'm glad about that.
Exactly.
So yeah, March was crazy, and then it all kind of just came crashing down, like March 15th or whatever it was. But anyways, this is when we get into the good stuff, because this is how we stayed creative during a pandemic.
So I'll say April and May, I pretty much focused on personal reasons. That was just a moment where we all needed to be to ourselves. Like, we had to slow down because we're always on the move. So I'm very grateful for like the end of March all the way up until like May. I kind of just got to really slow down and just really like get myself together. And just reevaluate or recharge myself, because I was always on the move, moving around. So skipping to those 2 months, because I took the time off to kind of just get myself together. May actually was when George Floyd got killed. So that's what sparked up the protests for the summer. I'll start off with June with the Compton protests with DeMar. And that's how me and Saul finally got to shoot together.
Literally, first project together.
So we've been talking and chatting through Instagram throughout since like February, March, up until that point. So I hit him up and it said, I told him like, yo, like, we need to team up on this protest. Like, I would love for you to come out, get your drone footage, whatever whatever you want to do. So he was down for it. So, and we did it, and it was just, again, it was more than just us capturing. Again, it was a special, moment. It's just like people out in the streets, Black Lives Matter, just coming together, fighting for change. And again, that was a historical moment. And it was so many protests, of course, after that, but that protest was special because that's the first project that me and Saul worked on together, and it came out amazing. The footage he got, and my homie Dre, shout out to my homie Dre, he got some drone footage too. And we all collabed, and he did his thing on the video. I took a few photos, and again, that was just a moment, again, as creatives, where this is a serious world crisis happening, and this is where it's like not necessarily fun, but this is something, again, where it's like this needs to be captured. This is historical. This is history. DeMar, Russell Westbrook, and everybody else who came out and spoke and stood up to make changes, for their city, the community. Like, that was just an amazing moment. Following after that, I got to shoot Josh graduating from Mayfair. So it was more like a drive-through graduation. Wasn't necessarily a ceremony because it was a pandemic, but that was interesting. So I got a couple photos of him like out his window with his cap, and took a couple pictures on the campus, and him, getting his diploma from his teachers and, everybody the staff from school. And he got to take a picture on the podium and then got back in the car, and that was it. So that was interesting, again, to shoot. It was quick. I actually prefer that because sitting at a graduation ceremony just takes forever, but that was a cool experience, especially the photos that I got. I got to be creative, and Josh is a creative person too. So again, and being there for another special moment for him, with this pandemic happening, he didn't get to do a lot of things. So that was another special moment that I caught in June, and that was pretty much it.
And I totally feel that, like, especially for me too, like in April and like May, I was like, man, like I need a breather for a little bit. Just 'cause I was like on the go all the time, and like just traveling a lot. So it was just like really nice. And like I'm luckily in a privileged situation where it's like I like didn't have to worry about like finances or anything like that. And I know that was a big struggle for a lot of people, but I just felt really, it's honestly a privilege that I didn't have to. So that was really great. But yeah, in April, I just kind of chilled. Like obviously, literally, if anyone is watching this as a photographer, videographer, like everyone's work was gone. Like if you had things lined up, like everyone canceled, like because no one knew. Like, it just makes sense, you know, it was like such an uncertain time. Luckily for me in May, I was able to do like a couple things. So the first one was I was able to shoot with this Rams player. His name is David Long Jr. He's a cornerback, but we actually connected because he went to the same high school as me. So he had just finished his rookie year as a cornerback with the Rams, and he was training out in Pasadena where I live. And I was like, hey, like I saw it on his Instagram story, and I replied one day, and I was like, hey, like if you ever need a videographer to come shoot your workout, like let me know, I'm around. And he actually hit me up, and we just like have been shooting ever since. So that's really cool. So I got to shoot with him for the first time back in May of last year. And then at the same time, one of my really, really close friends, her name is Michelle Hanabusa. She's actually the first person that hired me. I've talked to her about her many times before, but she has her own clothing line here in Los Angeles. You can find them in Pakistan, whatever. But at the time, when coronavirus was just starting out, originally, like there was a lot of like xenophobia and hate crimes towards Asians and Asian Americans because the person in power at the time kept saying that it was the Chinese virus, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were hating on Asian people. So my friend Michelle, along with 2 other people, started this nonprofit called Hate is a Virus to sort of combat xenophobia, and it has since like transformed. It's like a full nonprofit now, verified on Instagram. They fight just like racism, period, for all cultures, which is really dope. But at the time, they set out this goal to raise $1 million to sort of help like restaurants or Asian American owned businesses that were struggling at the time. So they put together this live stream fundraiser on YouTube through the nonprofits organization, and I actually got the chance to like art direct it, but I also edited like every single video. It was like a 2-hour live stream, and I had to like edit everything, which was really cool. But they had like Baron Davis spoke on it, and Olympic figure skater Apollo Ono, who was like back in like huge in the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah. He spoke. He was one of the panelists as well, and it was just like really cool to like see so many people come together. And I think that night they raised $20,000, which is really cool, over like a 2-hour live stream period. And then now, almost or over a year later, they are basically at their $1 million mark. So that's going to be announced pretty soon. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling everything, but they're almost there. So that was really cool to just be a part of that back in May and just like be able to edit all that. But again, reconnecting with you in June, and it's funny because I know after that Sierra Canyon game, when we connected on Instagram, I was like, oh, we should totally like grab lunch or something, just like get to know each other. And obviously, the pandemic happened, so we never got the chance to do that.
Right.
But then I remember when Nikki hit me up, I was like, damn, yeah, this is crazy. Like there was everything going on, and I think I had already shot like a couple protests on my own before that, and then it was just like, oh, we're doing this thing with DeMar, and it's like Compton, and I wanted to go out there, and the Compton Cowboys were also a part of it. And we didn't know Russell was going to be there. We didn't know Kendrick was going to be there either. It was just like DeMar's going to be there, which is cool enough already. Right. So let's just like try to put something together, and I was like, dude, yeah, like 100%, like I'm there. And it was just like a crazy day. Like I don't even know. It feels like yesterday. It's basically a year from now. So I'm sure by the time you see this, it'll be around the 1-year anniversary of us filming that, which is insane. But I like vividly still remember everything from that day. Like I remember getting there, parking there. Like we couldn't find each other at the beginning of it.
Calling him
I was
like,
wait, where are you?
Filming at the same time.
Then DeMar just saying like, what's up, and then just filming. And one of my favorite like clips from that video with DeMar is just like, because the protest literally was walking down residential streets, and there was like there's a shot that I included in there of like the little girls, just like little Mexican girls with their fists up. And I was like, damn, we're just like,
that was awesome.
It's like crazy. Like these girls were probably like 3 or 4 years old, and like I don't know if they really understood what's happening, but just them being there and just like being a part of it was super dope. Just from their balcony, like, you know what I mean? Like that was super dope. And then obviously like shot the DeMar thing. Russell was also there, shot that speech. Kendrick happened to be there, literally grabbed a quick photo. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but like we were chatting, and then like I remember hearing someone say Kendrick, and then I turned around. We were literally middle conversation, but I'm like, my head's always on the swivel.
He was like, Kendrick's here.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, Kendrick's here. And then like I was just like so caught up in it because I just wanted to say hi because it's Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. So I was just like, hey, Kendrick. And then like he like kind of waved back, but he was talking to someone, and then he like walked over towards us. And he just like was standing there, and then I remember just like looking at you, and then like I was just like, and then you were like, dude, like take his photo, like, and then I was like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah. And I just like caught that quick moment, but like
and
that.
Of course, and then when DeMar and Kendrick,
right.
That was my big moment.
That was your photo. That you got the photo of them too.
It's such a powerful 2 Compton, natives coming together.
Yeah.
Like, that was amazing. I'm glad Kendrick came out too.
Yeah, like those are literally like 2 of the biggest people to come out of Compton within the last 10, 15 years or whatever, you know? So it's like the fact that they're there and like just part of the community still is just like, was
Right.
beautiful to see. And like no one was even really noticing Kendrick like that.
Yeah, because he had that black hoodie
Yeah,
on,
like you would
like
not,
the mask.
you would not have known
That's
it
crazy.
was him.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
crazy that you even realized that was him.
Yeah.
Because he was all covered up.
Yeah. When you look at him though, you could tell it's him. And it was him,
Okay.
obviously. Like
Yeah, but if people did a quick glance,
Right.
he could have been low key, but I think it was his bodyguard that gave it
Exactly.
away too.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
actual TD bodyguard. But no, that was such a special day. And I'm so glad we got to like do that together. You know what I mean?
That was amazing.
And,
The video was amazing. Like,
video is fire.
Yeah.
We'll play it over all of this so you guys can watch it. But DeMar still has it up on his Instagram. It's like everyone reposted it, which is like insane.
yeah, it went crazy.
Yeah, literally. So I'm just so glad we got to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So that was June.
Yeah.
So that was June, and then now it's the summer.
Yeah.
Hot girl summer, except everyone was inside. So tell us about July. Tell us what happened with you in July.
All right, so July, one of the food drives I went to, it had to do with Mustard, Janae Aiko, Roddy Ricch, and Trey Songz. They all came together in LA and did a food drive and gave back to the community. It was by the Crenshaw, like Baldwin Hills area. It was actually after me and Saul did my first interview.
Yeah, we went together.
We went straight, we went straight from my interview to there, helping, giving back to the community. Like, I'm always loving to be a part of that. So that was one of the food drives I did that past summer in July. And then another event I captured was Bike Rides for Black Lives. They've been doing different protests throughout the summer, like hitting different cities. I went to a couple of their like protest bike rides, and that was really cool and fun. Hoop Bus came out too from Venice Beach, so I got to ride on their bus and take pictures out the window, like when everybody else was riding their bikes. Again, it's just seeing people come together in such a powerful, you know, moment in the community, coming together, you know, for Black lives, and again, just fighting, you know, in the streets, protesting. It's different capturing, you know, protests than from a basketball game. You know, it's just like, this is like real life situations happening. So it was fun, but at the same time, it was like a serious moment at the same time as well. But again, I could look back on these photos and, you know, be a part of history. So at that particular event, I captured a moment. Big Sean came out, so that was really cool for, again, another celebrity to come out and give back to the community and be there. So that was really dope for him to come out and be with the other guys who were leading the group. Yeah.
Out here in these streets.
On the move, yeah. Once those couple months went by, it's like, all right, we
Right.
back at it. These protests is happening.
Exactly.
Well, we also did, me and Solo did a protest in West Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a pride. It was a pride protest. So it was
Yeah.
like West Hollywood, Santa Monica, Hollywood Boulevard. Like, that was amazing too. Just to quickly throw that in there.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's a
Yeah.
great segue, because for me in July, because we shot that in June, and I remember got that drone footage. So
Yeah.
And that pride protest, like, I was debating if I wanted to go. I was like, man, I'm just like kind of tired. It's been like, it was a lot going on in the world. I
Yeah,
was like, I kind
it
of need a break.
was.
And then you hit me up, and I was like, hey, like, are you going to this protest? Because I'm thinking about going. I was like, if Nikki's going, then I'll go too.
Right, another protest.
Literally the first shot, like, we were taking an Uber to where the protest started, and as we're passing Sunset and Fairfax here in like Hollywood, like, we saw the whole swarm, and I was like, oh, let's just like join the front of the line or whatever.
Right.
And then literally the first shot of the day was like, I got this drone shot that was just like crazy. It just like showed the entire like Sunset Boulevard covered of just people, and then I ended up throwing that on Instagram. And then the artist, her creative team, like, ended up seeing that, or we got connected through a mutual
Yep.
friend. And they're like, hey, we're putting together a music video for her new song called I Can't Breathe. We would love to use some of your protest footage. Like, would you be interested? And I was like,
Dope.
yeah, of course. And then I sent them like
Amazing.
all the drone clips, and then that drone clip, the first shot of that day, ended up being used as the intro to the music video. So if you go
Amazing.
watch I Can't Breathe by her, the first two drone clips are that drone clip that I filmed that day. So
Amazing.
it's crazy, yeah. So
Yep.
that was July. So that's what happened in July for me. And then the NBA returned. So the NBA came back in a bubble in July, and someone from ESPN's team actually reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we're putting this like montage together for the intro of like on ESPN, like, can we use your Russell Westbrook clip? And I was like, dude, yeah, of course.
Yep.
So that I was able to license some of that clip, and it was like part of this just like really incredible intro, and like one of Beyonce's songs was like used as like the background music, and I was like, damn, this is insane. Like, and it was like on ESPN for like a solid week before every game at the bubble, and I was like, damn, this is wild. Like, this is just like
Crazy.
dreams coming true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was
Yeah.
dope. And then to round out the month of July, The music video for her actually ended up getting nominated for a Video Music Award for an MTV VMA, which is insane. Like I sent them the footage, they put out the video, and I was like, oh, this is dope. But then I kind of just like forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then I wake up like near the end of July, like open my phone, go to Instagram, and the creative director had tagged like all the videographers who were part of it, and they're like,
Dope.
oh, we're nominated for a VMA.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, insane. So that was the month of July.
So the month of August, my sis, Sia Moon, she's a dope artist, a good friend of mine. We've been creating actually kind of a little right after the pandemic, but this month in particular, we shot one of her songs titled Be There. And we had some like, you know, things happen where it's like my camera was in the shop and just different things happening. So we shot it once and we didn't like it. And we were almost gonna go with it, but I told her like, no, like let's try it one more time, you know, and just try to make it better than what it is. I know we can make this come to life the way you want it, the quality I know I could bring it. So once we shot it again, and we shot this in her apartment. So again, just being creative during this pandemic is just like, you just gotta make it happen. So to all the creatives out there, like if you made it happen last year, then, you know, salute to you. And if it was time where you needed to have time off, then salute to you as well, because mental health is very important as well. We shot in her apartment. We made it happen. I used my black backdrop and she wore all black. You know, she did her makeup, and, you know, I had my, I think I got my camera back, and then I used my 70-200 millimeter lens and like one of my other lenses. So I was able to get that shot, like a close-in shot on her, and then like kind of far out. But she blended in with the background, and it just like, she knows this is my favorite video, and she loves it too. So again, just something so simple, you know, us being in her place, but we created such dope content. It was just like mind blown how you can just like put creative minds together and just create magic. But working with her, you know, it's helping me get better, you know, with the content of music videos and being more creative. So that was definitely by far one of my favorite visuals we shot in that month. So I wanted to show that and just to inspire creatives. When you feel like you have nothing, like you could make something out of nothing, like always. Like don't feel you need a big budget or, you know, of course you want good quality, but you don't need a big budget to create something, you know, dope.
A lot of the times, don't get us wrong, like there's some clients who try to take advantage of you and like they don't want to pay you everything. You know, that's a different conversation, but like when it's just like good energy, good people and your friends and you just want to create something, like just go and do it, you know what I mean? Like nothing's just like, even today we went through a whole ordeal with this set, but like we made it happen and it looks pretty nice, right? So
exactly, that's another example. Like we have to make this set out of something, just to be honest.
It was looking a hot mess.
Yes, but we made something out of this set. So just show y'all again as creatives or just people in general, like we're gonna make something out of nothing.
Exactly, and that's a super important key. August for me kind of continued that VMA wave. So the MTV Video Music Awards were in August, which was really dope. And we actually ended up winning the award, Video for Good category. So that was really fun. Just got to share that moment with like my mom and my aunt, who was also like quarantining with us, and we were just like at the crib and we just like got together and watched it. So
your mom was so happy in the video
too.
I love that.
Oh my God, she was so excited.
I
was
love
like,
to see how happy she was.
And that was like very natural, because I know when people film stuff like that, it's like you act up or you like redo it. That was like very much in the moment. And my mom like hates the camera. Like she was totally like, she knew it was there, but so like
caught a natural moment
she would have. That's just how she is. So it was just like
so cute.
Super beautiful to like capture that moment. So I was like really excited about that.
Yeah.
So in August I had two really exciting projects actually. So the first one, aside from the VMA, I did a shoot with Jägermeister, the alcohol brand. It was actually out here in North Hollywood, but it was like a 2-day shoot. It was with the celebrity chef, and it was just basically walking us through how he incorporates Jägermeister into his different recipes. So he was making like these different like chicken and like cookies and cupcakes, and we got to eat all of it. So it was like so fire. His name's Chris Santos. I don't know if you want to look him up. Like I think he started the Tao restaurants or whatever, but he was a really cool dude. Everyone on set was like really nice. We shot in this like kind of mansion thing in North Hollywood, and like Alicia Keys' brother was like the producer on there. It was like super random, like small world type situation, but that was really dope. Phil Cho out of New York, he was the one that hired me, so shout out to you, Phil. I appreciate you. That was a lot of fun. Aside from that, my friend again, Michelle, who has that nonprofit I was telling you about earlier, She also has a clothing company called We Are Uprisers. It's like a community-driven streetwear brand, and she had a partnership with the U.S. Census Bureau. So last year was the census. People had to fill it out. If you didn't fill it out, then that's fine. I don't judge you, don't worry. She was commissioned by the census. They did a little partnership, and we were producing content just to get people to encourage them to like fill out the census and stuff. So we also had to produce another live stream. So it was like a 2-hour live stream. And again, I got the pleasure and privilege of editing that. It was really long, took a lot of work, but it was just cool to just be able to like say that we worked with the census, like happens once every 10 years or whatever. So
that's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. I would have never thought that the census was like trying to be like do stuff on Instagram or like YouTube and stuff like that. So it's cool to just like edit some stuff for them. So yeah, opportunities are everywhere. You just got to find them. I'm telling you, like the census, like that's a government agency you can create for people like that. So it was a pretty cool experience.
So September, that's my birthday month, September 5th. Got to do, you know, a little personal stuff with my friends, nothing too much. Did a photo shoot, but besides that, as far as content wise, I got to shoot for Dreamers Youth. Shout out to Ash and Sammy and Ann. Ann is the one who had me come out and do a couple food drives for them for Dreamers Youth. Again, they're giving back to the community. They were giving away Puma stuff and food, and again, just serving the people in the community and the youth. They found a way to continue to give back to the kids and the youth during this pandemic. So working with them, you know, is a blessing. And again, just giving back to the youth is always something I'm for. So shout out to Ash and Sam, you know, for their hard work and dedication to the program for the youth and the families out in the community.
So that was September.
September.
For you.
Yeah.
My September was a little different.
Okay.
Just kind of chilled at home. Just take a breather.
Took a breather, yeah.
There was a lot going on. There was a whole lot going on.
It's like went fast, then it slowed down fast again. It's like up and down.
And that happens, you know. There's some months that are crazy, some months are a little slower. I had a couple little gigs there. Nothing super exciting, nothing worth mentioning. But just know that I was working. Don't worry. But moving on to October for me. Had a pretty good month in October as well. The first thing that I was able to do, I started working with this new client. His name is Kevin Mejia. He's like a celebrity trainer out in West Hollywood. Really chill dude. He's around our age, and we actually just connected via Instagram. So we've stayed in touch ever since. I actually make his like YouTube vlogs now. So that was a really cool, nice new friend that I was able to connect with in October. And again, that was literally just through Instagram. I think we just like, he saw like one of my posts or something. He was like, yo, I love your work or some shit like that. So that was like really cool to just like have someone reach out to me in that regard. And again, kind of related to that whole sports kind of industry that I'm trying to break more into. I was like, okay, cool. Like, why not? You know, it doesn't hurt. The second thing that came about in October was a Jordan brand project. They were putting together this new, Jordan brand has like this new initiative to help amplify Black voices within the community. And they also reached out and they wanted to license my Russell Westbrook clip. So now it was part of another project. We started with the NBA return on ESPN, so that was the first time that it was used for something, and then now Jordan Brand reached out because Russell Westbrook is a Jordan Brand athlete. So, so that was really exciting as well. The third thing that I did, October is also Halloween month, and one of my longtime clients that I've been working with is Casamigos Tequila, which is George Clooney's tequila brand. If you're not 21, you should not know anything about that, so don't drink. But if you're 21, then go enjoy a bottle. Anyways, I've been working with Casamigos since like 2018, and I shoot their Halloween party for the last couple of years, and they obviously couldn't have an in-person Halloween party with all the people that they usually invite, but they did this like new activation thing where they decked out this like semi truck with just Casamigos branding and alcohol bottles, and they just kind of drove it around to different celebrities' homes. So I was able to do a bunch of drone footage for them around like Malibu and PCH, and so that was really dope. I enjoy working with the Casamigos team, and they always give me free tequila afterwards. So can't complain there. Yeah, and then the final thing for me in October, again, busy month. My friends nonprofit Hate is a Virus, they did a second fundraiser live stream on YouTube, and again got the chance to art direct that and edit the whole thing, and they like raised another $20,000 from that night alone. So again, just being able to stay like active within the community and just like, you know, using our art for good is really important to me. So I was really happy to be able to be a part of that. So thank you, Michelle. If you're watching, Michelle's not watching this, but I'll send this part to her.
I'm gonna start off with my niece, you know, to be personal on that level, because I had to do a photo shoot for her, because again, she couldn't have a party or do anything, and it was special because she turned 10. So my niece was born October 10th, 2010. So she's a 10-10-10 baby. So I feel like that's very special.
Yes.
And
numbers are big for you too.
Yes, but
that's a whole different story.
And turning 10, you know, like how we turn 18 and 21 and then the numbers go on, like 10 is, I feel like, is a special number.
100%.
So, you know, my brother, you know, and his wife, they felt bad they couldn't really have a party for her, but, you know, that's why I just felt like I needed to do a photo shoot, make it special for her. So I did a couple photos, you know, for her in the house, and I had like a backdrop, balloons to make her feel special. I had a little cute outfit for her. So again, as an auntie, you know, I had to make sure my niece felt some type of special, you know, way on her birthday. So I wanted to do a photo shoot for her. So again, finding a way during the pandemic to make your loved ones, you know, happy or feel special. So I definitely wanted to do that for her. And then moving on to the Lakers and the Dodgers winning.
Yes.
The end of October, like amazing. Like obviously, and it's just like no surprise. Like, you know, it's like, I'm not saying they didn't work for it. They definitely worked for it, but had to do it for Kobe. Like who else, you know? So
Okay.
I was out there in the streets. Like I was in them streets as soon as the Lakers won. Actually, I wasn't even thinking to going out when the Lakers won. Shout out to Chanel Smiley from the Drew League. We were watching the game together, and when I looked on the news, like it was fans going out there, and I was like, "You want to go?" And she was like, "Yeah, let's go." So it's like it was a moment where I didn't even think to go, but we went, and it turned out like crazy. Like fans going out there, cars lined up, like it was lit. So it was just like, it was something I didn't expect, but at the same time, it was expected. Cause like with the pandemic going on, but it's like the Lakers won and then Kobe passed. So it's like, of course fans are gonna go out there and celebrate, you know, cause they know it wasn't gonna be a parade anytime soon. So all the fans were out there that night. I did take some pictures, but I had to capture video. Like it was no way like people could really like feel like what was really going on. So again, like I made a video to where I just put all my sound bites of everything that was going on, from people honking to the Kobe chants to the fireworks and, you know, cars. Like it was just so much going on, but I put all those sound bites in there so people could really feel it. Those that weren't there, they were able to really feel the celebration. So I'm happy again that I went out there and captured that moment, because it was like amazing. It was so much going on, but I enjoyed myself, and the fact that I was able to capture and look back on it, it was like, wow, you know, this is great. Same thing with the Dodgers. When they won, that was even more excitement. It's like, whoa, like another LA team won, and that was even more crazier, because it's like now you have Dodgers and Laker fans coming out together. So it was like, it was more people, bigger fireworks. It was like, the intensity of that night was crazy, and the police were on it too. Like it was more police cars out, like they were like on it this time. Definitely grateful that I was out there both nights capturing the moments. Again, the sound bites was crazy from the Dodgers video, so you could watch those on my Instagram page and see how crazy it was. But again, you see the excitement of all the fans and everybody coming together. It was amazing. I'm glad I was able to capture it.
100%. And you did that really well, because I know for a fact I'm too old to be out on the streets that late at night, because those games ended late, and I was like, ooh, that's not for, I cannot.
And I did ask Saul to come for drone, but you know, you can get in trouble for drones. I didn't want to put him in a situation where, you know, he get in trouble for flying his drone.
I've almost been arrested for flying my drone like 3 different times, and I'm just like.
So I was like, I understand. But I was out there like getting what I could as far as like on the ground shots. I know the drone shots would have been crazy, but again, I didn't want to put him in that position. But
I appreciate that, Nikki.
Was out there, so that was my October.
That was fire. Yeah, no, you did a great job. Moving on to November. The big thing for me was we actually, same music video, the Her music video, that got nominated for the VMA, got nominated for a European Music Award. And it ended up winning as well. And I was like, damn, this year keeps getting crazier. Like, I don't even know
and again, just to quickly say, like, all the content we shot during the pandemic, like, from his Russell Westbrook to his Kendrick Lamar photo, like, because we decided to still be creative during this time, you know, it came along and, you know, it helped in the long run toward the end of the year, like, with blessings like that.
Exactly, yeah. You really just never know like what is gonna come out of it. Because even like the Kendrick photo, like it ended up getting licensed by a couple different magazines, like a magazine in like Japan, like printed with that photo, and they were like, oh, can we use it? And I was like, damn,
you have an art mural of it.
There's a mural on Sunset Boulevard right next to the Laugh Factory of my photo of Kendrick Lamar, like just plastered on a wall, and it's like there forever. And I'm just like, this is crazy.
That's
like
dope.
So yeah, just stuff like that. You really just never know, like just putting yourself out there and like capturing stuff, because you really never know where you're gonna get. Yeah, tell me about your November.
November. So I'm gonna talk about Compton shoot with DeMar. So we did a shoot within that month. It was me and another photographer named Cam and like some more like people on set as far as like fashion designers and set directors, you know, people just getting the locations and everything together. So that was a really cool shoot. I got 3 of my friends to get involved, Kelly, Paris, and Letitia, to be a part of the shoot for the ladies. So that was cool to get them a part of it, and it came out really dope. Like we got some really cool photos, and I always, you know, love being a part of, you know, brand shoots too, you know, and for DeMar to be, you know, doing this for Compton, like I love that he's doing a Compton brand and, you know, repping his city and, you know, trying to do, also doing stuff off the court, you know, and that's really cool, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So that was really cool. Yeah, I love the shot, which I know Saul was gonna show, the shot of him out the window with the palm trees on the reflection. Like, I love the details of that shot.
Moving on to December.
Yes.
Last but not least, we made it. Thank you so much.
December.
Thank
You're
you
still
so much.
watching.
Yes, if you're still here
December.
with us, I appreciate
2020,
you.
the end of 2020.
December 2020. Typically, December, I don't know if you've experienced this, but it usually gets pretty slow just because the holidays, everything like creative industry shuts down. But 2020, end of it, December was pretty good. The Gift That Keeps on Giving, the Russell Westbrook clip, ESPN featured it as part of Images of the Year of 2020, which is like insane. And I didn't even know about it. Like one of my friends like sent me a video of him filming the screen, and I was like, yo, your clip is here. And I was like, oh, damn, this is wild.
That's awesome.
So that was a really dope experience. And then lastly, just like my friend's clothing company, again, I can't mention her enough, Michelle. So one thing that I forgot to mention with Michelle is like, she was the first person that hired me, but she's also the first person that put me on a retainer. So a retainer, for anyone that doesn't know, means you create a certain amount of content for that company, brand, whatever entity, and they just pay you a flat rate. So the benefits of that are that you have a consistent check that's gonna come in every month. The downside of that is that you have to do it every month. So it's like, regardless if you want, it's almost like a full-time job, but not really.
Yeah.
But anyways, I've been on retainer with her like since 2018, which is really nice because I always have that money I can rely on. And even through the pandemic, she was totally fine and kept paying me, which was really nice. And I'm blessed to be in her life. But every year we do an end of the year recap for her clothing company. So there was a lot to recap in 2020 for her clothing line. Again, like I mentioned, the stuff she did with the Senses and being in PacSun and all this stuff, and her nonprofit that she started. So it was like a really great year, just being able to put all that together, include some of the protest footage that we shot, and it was just like, it was just a really great experience. So yeah, that's how my 2020 ended, just you know, with the fam and just you know, creating some recap videos.
I'm gonna talk about Drew League Foundation. December, we did a Christmas toy drive and giving back to the kids and the youth. So I was able to do a video recap of that. So again, it's family time. Those that made it through the year, you know, it was obviously a blessing, you know, because a lot of people didn't make it throughout the year during this pandemic and COVID. So being there and just being around all these kids, being happy to see these toys and everything, like that's what it's all about. So I was, you know, happy to be there and capture moments with that. So that was just, you know, always an amazing experience when it comes to like, you know, giving back to the community and the youth. So that was something that was special and to end the year with, you know. So I was just, you know, thankful to God and made it throughout the year with everything that we shot, you know, everything that happened. It was such a historical year. So just to look back on it now that we finally made it, talking about December, it's like, wow. And we're here, June 1st, 2021,
Yes.
talking about it. So for us to talk about it and what we experienced and to help other creatives to just keep going. If that wasn't a keep going type of year, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep going, you know, and just don't, you know, keep your marathon, mama mentality. You know, Nipsey and Kobe left that for us. So it's like, you gotta keep going, you know, have that time for yourself, make sure mental health is right, because that's definitely important.
100%.
Yeah.
We did it. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you are a real one.
Yes.
Really appreciate you. And
Salute.
again, like, we don't share this to like gloat by any means. Like, we've been doing this for a really long time. So it's like, if you're just starting out and like last year and like you had a really discouraging year, like, don't feel bad about it. Like, just keep going, like Nikki said, and like keep just putting in the work, because it'll pay off for you eventually. And you know, if you ever need help with anything, any advice, any questions that you want to ask either myself or Nikki, don't hesitate to reach out to us on Instagram, on email, whatever, in the comments below, like wherever. My Instagram handle is at Saul Lopez. Nikki is at creatives.I. It'll be linked down in the description below. But honestly, we really, really appreciate you all for watching and just kind of hearing, you know, what we went through last year and just how we kept going and all the cool projects that we were honestly blessed and fortunate to have, because we don't take it for granted at all, because we know those could be taken away in a second. Appreciate you all again. Nikki, any final words that you want to leave the audience with?
Marathon continues with a mama mentality. It's 2021. Summer is lit. We back outside. Okay. No, seriously. Seriously, to all the creatives out there, keep going. You know, it's finally opening back up. The world is opening back up. So it's time to get it, put back in the work, and just, you know, let's get it. Like, let's get to it.
No doubt. Let's go. We'll see you all next week.
Hey.
Peace. Woo! All right.
We did it.
Oh, careful, careful.
We did it.
Wait, right at the buzzer too. There was like a minute left.